Do the words tax lien certificate sound like a foreign language to you? You're not the only one feeling a little overwhelmed. Lack of knowledge can deter many from exploring one of the most valuable and stable investment opportunities available today. Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. Today's video, I'll clarify the process of investing in Alabama delinquent property tax list and the tax lien certificates. I'll show you how to earn reliable, secure returns by paying other people's property tax. Join me as I unveil the process to making your money work hard for you. Let's dive into the world of predictable, certain, and secure, and even lucrative tax lien certificates. Don't expect to become an expert overnight. As I mentioned in video 1 of this series, Alabama is a state that auctions thousands of tax lien certificates. This episode is about how to take advantage and earn predictable, certain, and secure money for you or your pension plan, your IRA. You can do all of that with a tax lien certificate. I've been guiding newcomers and experienced investors in how this process of tax lien certificate works and deeds for more than 2 decades. Tax defaulted auctions and tax lien certificate auctions are conducted at the county courthouse. They're advertised on the county website and additionally on private auction websites. Live auctions, if the weather doesn't cooperate, the auction could be moved into a large hall within the county courthouse, but they do have the auctions when they're live. Tax defaulted property can be found on the treasurer segment of the county website. Tax lien certificate auctions may be found in the same area. The state of Alabama auctions tax lien certificates on a site called govease.com. Let me do that again. Govease, govease.com. All of the state of Alabama lists are posted on that site. Alabama is a site which auctions thousands of tax lien certificates. Each of the 67 counties will have their own list on their website, as well as the same list on a commercial website like govease.com. Tax lien certificates are generally sold in a public forum at the county, in many instances on the courthouse steps. The list can be long and reveal many hundreds of properties or tax lien certificates that are delinquent. The list is comprised of the property ID numbers, which all you have to do is match that up with a specific property, and that makes it much easier to research it. It's the law in all 3,000 counties. All property owners in Alabama must pay property taxes, or the treasurer, tax collector, will notice the owner of the tax lien certificate auction or the tax defaulted auction. So let me say that again. When I say they notice, they're going to give many notices of default. And once that property goes into default, well, then they'll make a tax lien certificate or it will go to a tax defaulted auction. Today, this process is accelerated and can be done on the internet in just hours. Each tax lien certificate represents a property that's in default. It's a public auction and anyone can buy that certificate. It'll be a very long list in some counties. It's competitive bidding. The bidders bid down the interest rate and the lowest bidder will win the tax lien certificate. So what's going on here? It's an auction opposite of a traditional auction. This process is used in Alabama at the tax lien certificate auction where the lowest bidder wins the certificate. The county is attempting to sell delinquent taxes to the lowest bidder and use the revenue they receive to pay all the county bills. For example, the school teachers, the firefighters, the police department, county employees, the sheriff, all of those people have to be paid, and that's why they're trying to collect those taxes. For clarity, the Alabama tax lien certificate auction, the investor will be purchasing a piece of paper, a simple piece of paper that legally attaches to the property. The piece of paper, which is a lien, allows the property owner to remain on the property, and the homeowner is allowed to be on the property in default for 3 years after that auction. If the owner redeems, that means they come in and pay. The tax lien certificate owner must do so by paying the tax lien certificate investor 100% return of capital plus the delinquent interest and any penalties that could be due. Investors want to earn high interest. I know that. This conflicts with the way Alabama does it. If you bid low, you're going to make a low amount of money because you have lowered your own interest rate. So when you bid the certificate down to win it, what you've done is you've lowered your rate of return. Otherwise, this is a secure investment. If the property owner fails to pay and does not redeem the property, you're going to end up with that property. Imagine you getting a property for only the back taxes. Well, that's exactly what could happen. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. During the redemption period, the property owner may stay in and on the property. The tax lien certificate holder is not allowed access. They're not allowed to charge rent. They're not otherwise allowed to bother the owner. In other words, the owner has to be left alone completely for the full redemption period. All right, let's review. If the property owner fails to come forward and pay the tax lien certificate holder 100% return of capital, plus the accrued interest for the 3 years, and pay any penalties, the property owner will lose the property. Many investors will say this looks like a pretty low-risk investment. It certainly is a low-risk investment if you've done your due diligence. What does that mean? Well, that means you need to look at the property. The Ted Thomas rule is first look at the property. Don't buy a tax lien certificate or a property unless you have looked at the property or someone else that you trust has looked at the property. County treasurers report that 99% of the tax lien certificates are redeemed. That means the investor is going to get paid. But what if they don't get paid? Well, that could be a big problem. The investor is going to get the property. It's also, you should be aware that 25% of all the property at auction will be land. Okay, so if it's going to be land, you need to expect all different kinds of land. Grazing land, rural land, crop land. It could be raw land. It could be buildable land. It could be any of those. And what do you need to know about that land? Well, you must know, if you're going to try to sell property, that you better know a lot about that land. So if you don't have an exit strategy, you should not purchase the property. This could be a problem. Buyers need to check. Does the land have water access? Is there drainage? Is there power available? Will you have a survey? Have other people encroached on your property? You need all this information before you purchase. That's called due diligence. I want to mention that investors should know other things too. Let me give you some examples. Don't purchase a property unless you've seen and understand the condition of the property. Okay? The county records are accurate. However, sometimes the descriptions might not be exact, and sometimes the pictures that are there might be very old. There's no way all properties can be fixed by handyman. So you need to look at the property. Some properties must be torn down and demolished. So it's buyer beware. It's all about caveat emptor. Caveat emptor simply means buyer beware, know what you're doing. Liens can be researched, then they can be cleared from the property. Otherwise, you may have to pay them. I'm giving you a list of things that you need to know. Wise investors admit that they need help. I avoid mistakes because I hire experienced coaches that are problem solvers to help me. You'll probably need to do the same. If it's your property that you own it, that means you're going to have to sell it. How are you going to sell it? You need to know about media. That means you need to know to use the MLS. You need to know to use signs, Redfin, Facebook, Trulia, Craigslist. You need all of those things. If you don't know about that, you need to learn about it. Think about and understand installment sales. Many buyers have good jobs, but they have bad credit. Why? Why did that happen? Well, they just don't pay attention, pay their bills on time. So what's happened to them? They've been rejected by the banks. They have poor FICO scores. Many of these people can be converted to good buyers if you'll sell with an installment sale or called a contract to sale. I'm about to button it up. You don't know what you don't know. I use coaches because they have experience. Many have learned how to navigate the obstacles in the tax lien certificate and tax deed business. Expect the property to have hidden pitfalls and money traps. Hire an experienced coach and then learn the process. The content I've talked about today is designed and simplified to give you insights and help you make informed decisions. If you're a beginner or newcomer, the world of real estate requires guidance and it usually needs coaching. Below me, there's a free gift to help you continue with your learning process.